Understanding your core loop will help you save time and money by investing into what really matters, will help you market your game so you can make better sales, and all in all, will help you make a great game. And in today's video, I want to show you how you can design a core loop for your game based on how I designed the core loop for my game, Milkyway Mailing Inc, which is a top-down space shooting adventure made in Godot engine. But before we dive into the 5 steps, let's understand what is the core loop first. So the core loop is the sequence of necessary actions that players must perform throughout the journey of achieving your game goal. And when I talk about in terms of game goal, I'm not talking about a specific goal, an objective goal, a quantitative goal. I'm talking in a more broader sense. And to illustrate that, I will use Skyrim as an example. So in Skyrim, the game goal is to become the legendary dragon slayer. There is no point in the game that you actually have a specific legendary dragon slayer title. You just perform this throughout the whole game. So you kill dragons throughout the whole game, you slay creatures, you slay mythical creatures, fantastic creatures throughout the whole game. And besides you end up defeating legendary dragons such as Alduin, there is no point where you just become the legendary dragon slayer. This is a process that you perform throughout the whole game. Skyrim specifically follow a very generic core loop that, as we are going to see, I use for my game as well, because it's a general core loop that most adventure and especially games with strategy adventure elements will choose. So when we talk about RPGs specifically, especially games that has combat and adventure, they will follow the same core loop. So in Skyrim, you explore the world so you can find new challenge, you overcome this challenge, and by overcoming this challenge you are rewarded so you can upgrade your character. And this is the core loop. So in Skyrim you explore areas where you will find quests, and by finding these quests you are going to be requested to perform some tasks, and in the process of performing these tasks you are going to overcome some challenges, so puzzles, and well, killing enemies, defeating, slaying enemies. And by doing so, you are going to, by completing the quest, you are going to be rewarded with experience and gold, so you can invest your experience into new skills and your gold into new equipment, so you are going to be stronger. And this is the main feature of a good core loop. By the end of the loop, the final step, the final phase will feed back into the first phase. So this is the reason why it's a loop, right? Because it will always feed back into itself. And you have to ensure that this happens. The last step, the last action in your core loop will feed back into the first one. So in this example, when you upgrade your character, you become stronger so you can reach new areas, so you can explore new areas, which will give you new tasks, new quests that will provide you with new challenges to overcome. And by overcoming this challenge, you are going to be rewarded with more experience, more gold, so you can invest your experience in new skills, and so on and so forth, so you can become stronger, reach new areas, and so on and so forth. So let's dive into the first step of designing a good loop. The first thing that you need to do is to figure out your main loop. So the main loop is the sequence of general actions that players will repeat throughout your game. So to do that, to figure out your main loop, you have to study and analyze games within the same genre as yours. So as I said, my game is a top-down space shooting adventure game, and adventure games with elements of combat will share in most of the cases a very well established main loop, which is the same one as I said from Skyrim. You will explore areas, you will figure out some challenge, you will overcome this challenge, and you will be rewarded so you can upgrade your character, your spaceship, whatever avatar the player is playing with. And my game didn't dodge this bullet, so it follows this same structure. You explore the space, you encounter new locations and NPCs and aliens. They will provide you with quests. In the process of completing these quests, you will overcome challenges that will reward you with currency, so solar credits, which is the currency of my game, and you can invest these credits into upgrading your spaceship. And some quests, which are the main quests, is the sequence of 12 zodiac signs, so by completing quests for them you will be rewarded with power-ups, and with these upgrades and power-ups you will be stronger and you will be able to reach new areas, so you'll be able to explore new areas that will provide you with new challenges that you will overcome and will get rewarded, so you can invest into upgrade your spaceship, so on and so forth. So this is the main thing that you need to do. Figure out your main loop. After figuring out your main loop, you can add sub-loops. So for each step of your main loop, you can add a sub-loop. A sub-loop is a sequence of actions that are also necessary for your main loop, but instead of progressing through the whole main loop, they will create progress into one of the phases of the main loop. So by repeating these tasks of the sub-loop, you will finish the one increment of the task from the main loop. So for example, in my game, in the exploration phase, you navigate through space so you can figure out new locations, and you move towards points of interest, which can be a new planet, a new object that you discover, so a satellite or something like this that will provide you with a new quest. It can be a new planet or something like this, an asteroid, any point of interest that the player can see on the screen. By navigating to this point of interest, players will discover new interactions and they will finish the exploration phase, because the exploration phase is meant to provide players with new tasks, with new quests, so they can have challenge to overcome. So by completing the exploration phase, by navigating, discovering new areas, moving to points of interest, when they find these points, when they interact with these points of interest, they will finish the exploration phase and move to the next phase, which is to get new quests so they can have challenge to overcome. And when they get quests, they will, in my case, they will read the quest, they will understand the letter, they will get some access to some information about the game, so the game world, the world building, and by doing that, the NPC or the object or whatever will request them to complete a task, and in the process of completing this task, they will move forward to the next phase, which is to overcome challenge, and to overcome challenge, they will dodge hazards, they will fight enemies, and so on and so forth. And you can create sub-loops. So for each step of the sub-loop, you can create new sub-loops. So for instance, by to defeat enemies, so to defeat this challenge in my game, in the combat phase, players will dodge, they will teleport, they will shoot, they will choose the right tools, they will use the right power-up, they will have to manage the resource, so they will have to manage the health, the energy, so they will have to recharge, so on and so forth, until they complete the core loop, the combat core loop, that will finish the defeating of enemies, and by defeating enemies they will finish the overcome challenge step of the main loop. So this is how you can get into the specifics of your game. Don't fall into the trap of believing you should be original or unique. This is simply an excuse to not create what you want. For some reason, you are afraid that what you want to create will fall short, and you created and people created this excuse that you should be original, so that you can back your story, what you actually want to create, and say, yeah, this is not so original, so I don't want to make that. This is just an excuse. Surpass that. Innovation and creativity is simply the copy, combination, and transformation of well-established concepts. And this is what we did in the first two steps. So in the third step, we are going to add more things. You are going to combine things from other genres. So just like I said, we have three major genres in games. So these are the primary colors of game design: action, adventure, and strategy. In action games, we handle players' reaction time. In strategy games, we manage players' ability to manage resources, and in adventure games, we manage how players will review information about the game. By combining these genres, we create new subgenres. So for instance, an RPG, especially a JRPG, is basically an adventure strategy game. You have a plot, you have some information, so new skills, new equipment, character development that you want to reveal, so new information. This is the adventure part. And you have resources that you should manage. So you have your money, you have your experience point, you have your health, your mana or your energy, your party members, so on and so forth. Then you have to manage those. So it's basically an adventure game with elements of strategy. And if you want to create, for instance, a Western RPG, you add an action element to that. So you have a combat system that will be based, instead of turn-based, which is 100% strategy, you have an action-based combat, which will measure how well players handle the hand-eye coordination. So how quickly players respond to the events of the game, how quick is the player's reaction time. And you can do that, so on and so forth. So in the third step, you are going to choose one main aspect or one main phase of the main loop, or one or two subloops to stand out. You're going to cherry pick one of those and you're going to say, hey, this is going to be my unique selling point. So for instance, in my game, I decided that this is going to be the exploration phase. I don't want the combat to be innovative. I don't want the quests to be innovative. I don't want to be innovative into the narrative and the storytelling. Besides, I'm trying to create a cool story, but it's nothing much. I'm using well-established frameworks, so the hero journey and the 3x narrative, so there is nothing innovative there. But I want the exploration phase to be the unique selling point of my game, which is not original, is not unique, it's basically just picking up astronomy and astrology and providing information about that to players. So in the exploration phase of my game, I want to show cosmic events such as black holes, supernovas, nebulae, constellations, planets, moons, comets, satellites, space stations, aliens, pop culture reference. All of that in the exploration phase. So I decided for my game that the exploration phase will be my unique selling point, will be how I'm going to promote my game, will be where I want to invest most of my resources. The core loop isn't just a tool for the pre-production phase where you're coming out with good ideas that are interesting. It's actually a tool for the production phase where you can analyze how your core loop is working. So after you create a prototype with all the steps of your core loop implemented, you're going to test it extensively so you can pinpoint where you're falling flat and you can invest your resources into improving the areas that you need to improve in order to achieve the desired experience that you want your players to experiment. So for instance, in my game, as I say, the exploration phase is the unique selling point that I chose for it, but currently the game, a full cycle of the game loop has about 8 minutes of gameplay, and 4 of these 8 minutes are basically just the onboarding process, so teaching players how the game works and what they will do in the game. So players are finishing up a complete cycle in about 4 minutes. So they are exploring the universe, they are figuring out missions to overcome challenges and getting upgrades in about 4 minutes. I plan this game to be around 8 hours to 12 hours of gameplay, but with this loop I will have about 54 minutes of gameplay and players will finish up the game in about 54 minutes, which is way below the desired experience that I planned for this game. And well, I have a lot of solutions for this problem, but the main thing is that the combat is good. Players, I exposed the game in a fair recently and players gave compliment about the combat is feeling good, the challenges are feeling great, so the delivering of quests, the bosses, the rewards are also good, so when you defeat bosses you get power-ups and they feel great. So my game is falling flat in the point that I chose to be its main selling point, so there are nothing to explore currently. Players are just completing one task after the other and this is it, so they don't have a breathing time, so they will be enticed to explore this space. And there are many solutions for that. I can create some exploration missions, so go to Mars to understand why Mars is red, go to this black hole to understand how black holes work, so on and so forth. This is actually a good choice, a good approach to present the features of the game to players. So to present how the hazards work, how the planets work, where are each planet, how you can find out the constellations for the bosses, so on and so forth. So I will have to fix that. But now I understand where I should fix that. I know that the exploration phase of my core loop is falling flat, so I can invest my resources, I can buy some courses, I can buy some resources as well, so astronomy magazines or courses and stuff like this, so I can fill out this experience of exploration in my game, and I won't have to invest time and effort to hire someone to implement features in the combat or to hire someone to create a good storytelling, because these are not the selling points of my game. The selling points are the exploration phase. So this will help me save some money. And after I polish this phase, I know for sure that I will fix some of the issues, and probably I will figure out some other issues in the process of investing into improving this exploration phase. But I will have a tool that I can use to back my insights, instead of just experimenting with like brute forcing some concepts into my game. I can make informed decisions about how I can improve my games. All of that because I have a good understanding about the core loop of my game. In the fifth and final step, you are going to leverage all the data that you collected through the previous step. So here you are going to invest your resources into improving the areas where you're falling flat, and you are going to promote your game. So you're going to use your core loop as a marketing tool. And for that, I want to show you how you can do that. So here I have a chapter of my First Line to $40 course, which is a course where you can where I teach you how to design, develop, and launch your first game, earning money within this process. And this specific chapter is available publicly, so I'll put the link in the description if you want to read about it, because I want people to understand how they can make great core loops so they can sell great games, and pinpoint where they're falling flat so they can make informed decisions. And for that, they need to understand the core loop. So this is available publicly. The link will be in the pinned comment. And if you want to get all the complete course, you can click this button right here. But at the bottom of this page, of this chapter, I have this, which is bullets per minute trailer, and I want you to pay attention to that. This part. So within 20 seconds, they present their game core loop in the best way possible. The first 10 seconds, they show how the gameplay is. So you can see they shoot, they reload, they do everything in the game. They show, don't tell. So you can see it will end up with them dodging, jumping, and it will end up with them reloading. And after that, they tell what are this core loop, because players don't understand that. They are not they don't study games. Players play games, so you have to tell them what is the expected experience that they can. What is the experience that they can expect by buying your game, by acquiring your game, by playing your game? And this is what the guys from Bullets Per Minute did. They explained, hey, in this game, you are going to fire. What is it? You're going to fire, reload, jump, and dodge. Nothing much here, nothing original, nothing unique with this. This is a basic combat loop from first-person shooters, but in this specific case, they added the unique selling point, because you're going to do all of that, all of the FPS combat loop within the rhythm of the beat. So you have to do all of that in the rhythm of the music that is playing. And this is how they presented the unique selling point, presenting the core loop, which is, hey players, you can expect that this will be a first-person shooter. You're going to fire, you're going to reload, you're going to jump and dodge it. Everything that a first-person everything that you do in a first-person shooter, but in the rhythm of the music. And after that, they present some adventure elements as well. So you're going to explore dungeons, you have to survive the enemies, you are going to explore the story, the plot, because you have to conquer the lords of the Helheim, and all of that is basically just adventure elements. But they presented that really well. And also, by understanding your core loop, you are going to be able to make your Steam page so you can sell your game for thousands of millions of players. So I want to show you something that I have here on the bottom. So this is basically a diagram showing how, well, read the post, read each chapter. The link will be in the pinned comment, so you understand what these graphics, what these diagrams are all about. But I want you to pay attention to this. By understanding your core loop, you will be able to use it as a marketing tool so you can create your selling page, your landing page, specifically in this case, your Steam page. So I want to show you three examples of creature collection games. All of them share the same main loop, so you have exploration, you collect monsters, you battle, and you upgrade your monsters, but each one of them chose a specific phase of this main loop to be their unique selling point. So for instance, Koromon is, you can see that in the trailer they present the unique selling point leveraging the core loop. So in Koromon, they have the unique selling point, the world building and the adventure aspect. So in this vast world filled with turn-based battle, nothing much here because most of these creature collection games are about turn-based combat, but they present the unique selling point here: brain twisting puzzles and mysterious threat to the world awaiting defeat. So the narrative, the storytelling, the plot is what matters most. The information that you are going to reveal through the solving of these puzzles, by solving this mystery, by understanding what are these creatures that are awaiting defeat. And the other one, Temtem, chose the... So Koromon chose the exploration part, where Temtem, as you can see in the very trailer itself, is focusing on the monster collection part. So the very trailer starts with the monster collection, different from Koromon. So if you see Koromon here, it starts with the player exploring the world and solving some puzzles. See? Yeah, it starts with the battle, but after that is exploration, right? And in Temtem, they focus on the monster collection part. So in their description, they show that tame 165 unique creatures across 7 vibrant islands, and you can have the Luma and Umbra variants, and you can breed your favorite Thames, which are the monsters in this world. So they focus on the monster collection step of this core loop. And Cassette Beasts focus on the upgrade part, but in this game, you can see that they focus on the battle and upgrading part. So in their trailer, you're going to see how this happens. But they use the description to show the unique selling point, which is the fusion of monsters to create unique and powerful new ones. So the focus is not to get different cassette beast, is to make a better one, to upgrade your beast. So they're focusing on the battle and upgrade steps of this main loop. And this is what you should do. You should pick up one thing, and by using your core loop as a marketing tool, you're going to present these to players. You are going to say, hey, the focus of my game is the exploration, the focus of my game is the creature collection, the focus of my game is the battle, the upgrade system. You're going to present this to player and also present the main loop as well. So the main actions that players will do, which are the general actions, but you're going to make sure that the unique selling point will stand out. If you're serious about making a living out of your passion, which I think is making and selling games, I will highly recommend you to enroll for Mission Selene, which is my 6 months long mentorship. Throughout this video, I presented you how you can create a great core loop, which is the first step to make great games. But just knowing that is not enough. You have to put that into practice. And the best way to practice a knowledge is to have guidance. And that's what I'm offering in the mission, Selene. I will guide you through the process of making a game that is kind of like a modern revision of Asteroid. And throughout this process, you are going to pinpoint where are the areas that you want to improve in your game development skills. So if you want to make better code bases, if you want to draw better graphics, if you want to animate better, we are going to focus on that, using this game as a sandbox so you can practice your knowledge, and I will create exercises and achievements so you can accomplish them. And through this process, you are going to design, develop, and launch a game. So you understand all the process within this achievement. The link will be in the description. Click there and enroll for Mission Selene. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Keep developing, and until the next time. See you there.